everyone. Thank you for joining for Support Saturday. I'm Sharice Ellison. I'm the host, and today we have a masterclass. It's called Preschool System Hub, Tech Tricks for Effortless Organization by Beth Koenig. All right, Beth, show us all things Hub.
Okay, so let's dive right in. I'm going to share my screen. So let's share my Hub account. Okay, so what's really cool about today is, a lot of you already use the Chrome bookmarks and stuff like that. Well, we're going to kind of expand our system here a little bit. So everything that has to do with your website, things that you want to give your clients and whatnot, we can actually go. So I'm starting my dashboard. I'm going to go down to media storage. And this is where all the media for your hub lives. In fact, you can see the products that we set up last time in the store. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to load some PDFs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new folder because these are going to be my PDFs that I want. Maybe I want as a lead magnet, or I just want to have it as something that I can give parents or whatever, right? So I'm going to say PDFs for website because that's usually what I say. PDF for web site. Okay, so if you have different types of PDFs, say you have lead magnets, then you can just make a lead magnets folder to keep them in, right? Or if you have, stuff that you're giving parents or sending on a regular basis, you can make different folders for that. But try and keep stuff organized in here, because if you get too much stuff in here, it gets hard to scroll through it all. Which is incidentally the same problem we have in Google Drive. But anyways, so I'm going to go into my PDFs for website folder. And then we are going to upload a few PDFs. So I have here my keyboard shortcuts that I'm loading. Okay. And so now I have these 3 PDFs. Now what's cool is we can always re-download this file. So if for some reason we say, oh wait, I forgot where I put my profile picture or whatever, if you have your stuff loaded and organized in your media storage, you can go to that in the hub and you can just download it with this little download button here. We can also click on these 3 little dots and we can preview. So like if it's a image or something else, you can preview it, you can move it to folder, you can rename it, you can move them to trash, say you don't need them or you accidentally double uploaded something. So there's a lot of stuff you can do, but we want to really focus on this whole get link thing right here, because when we get the link to this, that means that we can put it in a button, we can send it in an email, we can do pretty much anything with it, and it's automatically going to be available to whoever has that link. So when we click the Get Link button, it copies it to our clipboard, and then we can just go basically anywhere else. So for instance, if I wanted to go back to my online preschool site here, and I wanted to go, say, I wanted to replace this free workbook, right? So I would just go to the free workbook page, click edit. Okay, you're gonna have to pretend that that PDF is actually a workbook and not a shortcut sheet. But anyways, you click this download button, right? Or you can make a new button and label it download or whatever, right? If you're on a different page. But we just scroll down and see how this is going to a Google Drive file. All we have to do is delete the whole thing and then paste in our link. This is our link. So now, and I'm going to actually have it open in the same window. We're going to save that. And now when I go to this preview, okay, I can just click this thing and voila, no more preschool book. It is now on my shortcuts. And these happen to be the Mac shortcuts using the Command key. So anyways, there's that. But yeah, and you can do this for any file that's in your media library that you want somebody to be able to access. Mostly we do it with like PDFs or other files. You can even use it for video files. So if you want to have a private link to a video file, because usually we would upload video files onto our website directly, but we can actually, sometimes we just want to have complete control over video file, and we just put it in our media storage, and then we can just get the link for the file, right? And so that makes it really cool. So again, when we're in this main area, we want to make folders. So I'm actually going to make a folder for my store right now. Store images. Okay, because these are images for my store. So these are my products, and then these two here are my categories. So I'm just gonna, and you can just select them with your mouse and drag and drop them. So you can either, you know, if you click on it once, it's gonna usually open the preview, but if you just click and drag, it'll let you just drag it, right? Or you can go like this. So if you click down, hold, and drag, it'll make a box, and that's how I was able to select a lot of them. And so I can just throw them in store images. So now, whenever I go to PDFs for website, I have my PDFs here, right? And then I can just see my navigation up here. So up here we have PDFs for website, and then we have this home thing. So if we click on home, it's just going to take us back to our main media storage. And then we can click on something else like my store images, right? And then say you want to send a file or something via email. Again, just click get link and you paste that into your email. There's no need for attachments or anything, because as soon as I click on it, it goes right to the file, right? So like here, I can just paste in that link and it's bringing up the file. All I did was paste it into the address bar. I know you guys can't see that. Maybe I should share my window instead. Yeah, I think let's share my window instead. Hold on. Window, Chrome, share. There we go. That's better. Now you can see stuff. Okay. So as you see up here, these are my Chrome bookmarks, right? And my Chrome bookmarks, inside Chrome bookmarks, sometimes I have bookmarks to my Google Drive. So I can just actually go to these 9 little dots, and I can go to Google Drive. And then I have a huge amount of files that just go on and on and on forever. Okay. But that's because I have like a huge amount of stuff. So what we want to do when we're thinking about organizing stuff is we want to make sure that we're labeling and naming things as we go, right? And so it's super important. Like all of these here have names that are what they are, right? But if we go back to my PDFs for website, these are a little bit nondescript. So what I can do is I can actually just rename it. So I would rename it, and you want to leave that .pdf in there because that's its file extension, and we don't want to delete its file extension right now. Shortcut key cards. That's the Mac shortcut key. Shortcut key cards. That doesn't make sense. Shortcut cards? We could call it just shortcut cards. I know they're keys. But anyways, try and make your title as clear as possible so you'll remember what things are. Right? Because again, if we preview this, and now it's not letting me preview, that's fun. Anyways, right here, I can just click and it'll open it. See, so we want to know what things are. And so this makes more sense. Keyboard, shortcut, flashcards, they're kind of like cards. Anyways, so that's my whole point is we want to make it so that things are readable. A lot of you have problems in Canva too. Number one tip I have for Canva, right, is make sure, in fact, let's open Canva. I'll show you real quick. Because I know a lot of you are making this mistake and it's affecting your downloads. So like I was working on this. This is a cartoonized version of an image I was trying to work on, right? I was trying to see if I could get a cartoon out of my image. This is as good as I got. And then I'm like, okay, that's it. I got to stop doing this for now. But what happened is I forgot to name it. That's not good. So we just come up here in Canva and we can type the name, right? So we're going to say Beth as a cartoon, right? So then when I download it from Canva, right? I know this may seem a little basic, but when I download it from Canva, it's actually going to download, right? And as that file name. So I don't think you can see that in my file manager. I'm going to share my. Can you guys see the pop-up that happened on the side, or you just see my thing? Oh, it's good. Okay. Yeah. So it named the file. So we want to name our files as much as possible, what they're actually going to be, and keep that in mind. So now when we go back to our home, we have all these cool folders. We can make more folders by clicking the folder thing, and remember the upload button. If you're not sure what kind of folder you should make for something, you can just go ahead and upload it, make sure it's named properly. And then as you get more and you're like, oh, there's 3 of those things, they should go in a folder. And now all of a sudden you have a category. But it's super important to try to keep them in folders as much as possible. And then of course, when we're in a folder, we can make a new folder, right? See? More cards, right? So I can make a new folder, and now all of a sudden I have a new folder that is in here. And so I can have different layers of folders. So if you're doing a major project or something like, and this is a perfect example, a lot of you want to have 2 different businesses in your hub. You want to have your preschool business and another business. So what you can do in the media library is you can literally have a folder that says, preschool business. I'm going to say biz. Or, the name of your preschool, right? I'm just going to name it preschool biz. And then we can make another folder, right? For our dog walking biz. Dog walking biz, right? Now all of a sudden, oh my gosh, my PDFs for website actually go in my preschool biz because, and so I can just move my folder to the preschool biz folder, right? So then when I open that, PDFs for the preschool website, it's not in my dog business folder. Oh, let's stop making new folders. Okay, home. So as you can see, this is a really good system to like keep it organized and keep it moving. And speaking of moving, I'm going to go ahead and go over QR codes because I know we're getting short on time. I have a few more things to show you guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to this new link, this link all the way here on the right? So I'm in my sites, and then I'm going to go into QR codes. Well, actually, before I go to QR codes, let's get my freebie link because I want to share my my free class. So this is my free class opt-in. So I'm going to get that link, except that link's not there. So we're going to go into settings and connect a domain real quick. Yeah. Just love it when I don't have domains connected on things. Anyways, so now we can go down to the free class opt-in and we can just grab this, right? Ignore the fact that it says start a farm. We're not having start a farm preschool, although that would be a cool idea. We're just going to make sure I copy that because this is the page that I want my QR code to go to. So I'm going to go over to QR codes and I'm going to create a new QR code. Now, this is really cool because it has all kinds of different ones that we can choose. The first thing we have to do is name it because otherwise it'll be called that and we don't know what all those numbers mean. So we're going to make it readable. I'm going to call this my free class. So free class, okay? Because I'm going to use the website link, okay? And then I'm going to click next. Then here, I'm going to delete this example. Make sure you delete all of the example, right? And then paste it. And then we go to next. We have all these cool options. So you can play around with like the dot colors and, you know, do all kinds of cool things. So here's how QR codes go. Keep the QR code, use darker colors for it because it's easier to be scanned. So try and have it on a white background with dark colors. I know that I think you can actually color invert them and they scan okay, but I'm not entirely sure at what point they don't scan okay. So I always try and do a light background with a dark QR code, right? And then this, let's see, blue. So you can see that changed the ring around them. And then the mark center, as you can see, our QR code is getting kind of cute here. What I really like to change is I like to change the dots. I like to use these little tiny dots in my QR codes because I just think they look nicer. But it has other types of dots like these, like squiggly ones. And then it has, you know, different shapes and different things. And, you know, but I love these dots. You can also change the shape of the border. So circles look kind of nice, but then of course, so do these. These look more like, I think these rounded squares look more like QR codes than, you know, this rounded one, but it does go with my whole dot theme I have going on. And then the center mark you can also change, which is kind of cool. Here you can add logos to the middle. I know we're using a website, but like, see, you can just add different logos. So say, for instance, you wanted them to make a payment or something, you had a payment link set up, you use that. You can also add your own image and put it in there, which is really cool. Like if you're, you know, doing the free class or any link that goes to your website, you can use your own logo. And what I really like about these default ones here is that you can literally have a page of QR codes with all your like different little things that go to your different pages. And then, you know, you can have like a stack of cards and it's like, oh, you want to sign up for my Facebook thing? Cool, scan this, right? Which I will probably eventually do. But anyways, this is just awesomeness. I'm going to put this G here just because I think it goes good with my color scheme. And then we can just download it. So I just downloaded that. And so what we're going to do now, wait, hold on. Okay, we're going to go create the QR code again because I accidentally clicked out of it. Free class. Okay, sorry guys. I'm like, this is a live example of things. Remember, change color. What was this, blue? This one was green. Look at that, that's pretty fast. Okay. Shape and form, dots, logo. Save first before I download. Okay. So now what I can do is you can actually download it in different formats too, which is kind of cool. But what I really like about this is if you go here to analytics, it will actually tell you how many times your QR code was scanned and how many unique scans. In other words, scans coming from a different IP address, right? Because every device, every phone or computer has its own IP address. And so that's how they count how many times something was accessed as unique or not. So somebody might actually end up going back to your web page a couple of times or scanning your QR code a couple of times because say they accidentally got out of something or whatever, they're just going to scan it again and go back to it. Or they put down the paper and they forgot about it for 2 days and then all of a sudden they went back to it and scanned it again, right? So it tells you how many unique QR scans versus how many actual QR scans. So QR scans is every time somebody does it, and then unique is that. So it will keep track of that for you, which is really, really awesome. And now here's the really cool part, right? If we go back to QR codes, is that I can have a QR code that goes to a specific page, but I can have multiple different QR codes so I can figure out which campaign is working the best. And so this is like really advanced stuff where you have a QR code and you can actually have it, scan, it can scan different things and it'll track, okay, I said that wrong. Okay, so you have a QR code, you put it on t-shirts, right? And that goes to maybe your free class or something. Because I think it's like a lot of people are like, oh, let me put my, my main website on a QR code. Well, the problem with the main website is it asks them to register. It's not offering them any of your lead magnet stuff. And ideally, you want people to get your lead magnet because then you're collecting their email address. So you actually want them to go to a link. And oh my gosh, I just have so much stuff I want to say about this. I'm actually getting I'm getting on top of myself. Yeah, not good. Okay, coming back to center. Okay, so think about it this way, right? We just saw a QR code. When we scan that code, it's going to go to our opt-in page, right? On our opt-in page, we're collecting their email address, and then it goes through the entire system. Whereas if we only send them to our website and they don't want to register, or they're not ready to register, or they need to think about it more, now all of a sudden we don't have their email address. We don't have anything except we know that somebody went to our website because we can see that on our website analytics, right? Which is another really cool thing we have. I don't think a lot of people know this actually. But if you go to your sites and then funnels and you click on your funnel, you can actually click up here by stats, and this will give you all your page views. Okay, and it has them for every single page that you have. So this is a really cool thing. If you're like, I don't know how many page views I'm getting, right? And then here you can actually change and see, like this is only showing the last 30 days. So if I want February until today, which is
Beth, you stopped sharing your screen.
I did. Thank you, Charisse. I'm just like talking and talking. Nobody can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's me. Okay, guys, look at this. This is really cool. Okay, can you see my screen now? Right. So this was the last 30 days, but you can like literally go here and then here, hit to confirm, and it will load the thing. So it'll tell you all your page views and then your unique page views. And remember, unique is measured by different devices and different IP addresses. Okay, and that one was probably me or somebody else that typed in the thing. But yeah, it'll show you all your things. So you will know how many people have landed on your lead page versus how many people have actually signed in and got the free thing, right? Because you'll see, and it'll also calculate opt-in rates for stuff. The sales thing works if you have like everything set up in your funnel correctly. It'll tell you your sales stuff, but oftentimes with subscriptions, it's hard because you're not just paid once, right? And so it kind of has those issues. But yeah, it's really, really cool, the stats view. So again, how I got to that, I'm going to start over on my dashboard for you guys. Okay. So I went to sites, right? I made sure I was in funnels. I clicked on the funnel that I want to look at, and then I just go to stats right here, and it's going to show me my stats. And that's how it's like, how do I know if anybody actually saw my webpage? That's how you know, which is really cool. And so with your QR codes, you just go to your analytics, and then it'll show you, right? And we have a new part here that says analytics, and it'll actually see its tracking page views and stuff. So if you go to this analytics thing, there's a bunch of things up there that you can also look at. But I like going to the actual thing to see analytics on it for now, because that's what I'm used to doing. But yeah, see, this is a really cool thing. Now, when we download it, right? So I can download as a PNG, and then we can go back into Canva. I'm on Windows Share, right? Okay, so we can go back into Canva, and what I can do is I can just say upload, right? I'm going to upload a file, and I'm going to say free class because it's the second one I did, right? And so I can say just use a new design, custom size, yeah. And so it's just going to create my new design there. Okay, and this is my QR code. And now what's really nice is that I can just use my background remover to make sure that it's completely clear. And then because I have Canva, Pro, the paid version of Canva, I can go and I can say transparent background. And what's really good about transparent background is that then when you try and load it onto a sheet, right, is that you're going to be able to actually get it closer to things, and it's not going to cut stuff off. It's just easier to work with. Now, if you don't have Canva Pro, you can still download this with the white background. Or I think it might, I'm going to check the PNG and see if it's finally coming out with the actual true transparent. No, it looks like it's white still, because the PNG will usually have transparency indicators on it. Anyways, geek talk. So we just go with transparent background, right? And then I'm just going to download that. So it's going to be called Untitled Design, which I broke my cardinal rule of naming things. Do as I say, not as I do. Anyways, let's see. So I'm actually going to go to my home because I want to show you guys this. If you guys have Preschool in a Box, or when you eventually buy Preschool in a Box, because if you will, you can go and you can grab the flyers, right? Now I already did the flyers for somebody, but I wanted to show you how we have this, how we're using QR codes, and show you kind of what we're doing with it, right? So this is, we changed this. Instead of the registration, the $14 that was up here, we put the QR code up here, and we took that and we put the free class in there, right? So this is a link to their free class, and this is a link to the free class. So if we go in and we change this, so all we have to do is go to uploads, right? Wait, I need to make sure I get the right one of that. think I have to upload this Untitled Design one first, because I want a clear background. Yeah, there we go. See, that is definitely a clear background right there. I'm going to actually show layers, and I'm going to grab, so when you show layers, you can just go and just grab it like this and bring it all the way up to the top, and it'll just be on the top of everything, which is nice, because then you don't have to worry about it being behind stuff. But anyways, what we can do here is replace it with this one, right? And then you just see how it is kind of covering stuff in the background, but you see how we can kind of get more centered. See, so it looks pretty good. That's a valid QR code. I would probably make it just a smidge smaller because I don't want it so close to the faith-based one. I mean, I want it close to Preschool Club, but centered. So you see how nice that looks, right? And you can actually design this to have the things as long as it's on a white background with darker spots. That's the only thing. So you can actually put the QR code kind of in your colors to match your logo, and you can do just different design stuff. And the only thing you need to do when you make your QR code is you need to get out your phone and you need to scan it to make sure it works. Because I can't tell you the number of times we've gotten something and we're like, why won't that scan? And it's because nobody scanned it with their phone. So now it's going to my starter farm preschool. Anyways, so now when I go back to my QR code analytics, see, I scanned it. Oh, I guess other people have been scanning it because it's been scanned 3 times. But yes, always, always, always scan it. If anybody wants to scan it some more, there you go. I'm also not sure how are people getting into this. Hi, Maggie. Let's see. Yeah. Hold still. Is this your live document? This is your live document. Okay, we'll leave that one alone. Okay. So yeah, it's this QR code is really cool. So let's see. I thought I hit the template one. I guess not. Okay, so does anybody have questions about QR codes or algorithms or something before I go on? Because I could literally be at this all day. And
quick question. It's like a tongue twister this morning for some reason. Sorry. Beth, how did you do the QR again? I somehow missed that in the hub because I can put it in Canva, but let me show me again or tell me again how you do it in the hub.
So the hub, we're going to go into the hub. So let me just make sure that's really clear because I know I've been bouncing in and out of Canva. But you can get that flyer from
Share Screen
Box, and you do edit in Canva and all that. But I'll just go over the preschool hub thing again real quick. If I can find my share screen.
Thanks, Beth.
Okay. So what we're going to do is I start at the dashboard because that's where you usually land when you log into your hub. Okay, we're going to go to sites. And then we're going to go over all the way to the right at the top where it says QR codes. Okay. And then we're just going to create our QR code. Now, remember to have your link ready ahead of time so that you can create your QR code. Now, what's really cool is you can actually have it where it's set to call, right? So like if I wanted to, make one that says call me, right? So maybe you have a flyer and you really just want people to call to schedule a class. You can have your phone number, you can have a QR code. And then you just do your phone number, right? Which I'm going to do 714-555-555. Okay, and you guys can actually see if this works, but I'm going to just do a more basic one right now. You guys can play with all these settings and stuff. Just make sure you save before you download, because sometimes we get happy and we forget to save. So I'm just making it plain so you can see. But this one then, if we download this Call Me one, right? So here you go. When you scan this, you should get you should get my fake phone number, right? Let's see. And it's saying open with phone. So I click just once and voila, it has my number on it.
Wow.
Okay, so this is like really, really cool stuff. Plus, it's going to track how many people actually scan to get your number. Charisse, you're muted. She's like, I didn't want
Thanks,
to.
Beth.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't say anything. I was just showing you that I scanned it.
Yeah. Well, luckily I switched back to my Zoom view, but yeah, guys, this is like really, really cool stuff. I could probably be on QR codes all day. I have one more thing I want to share with you, because I think it's important that you understand where we're kind of
Hold on,
going
Beth.
with.
Hold on, Beth. Hasina, is your question related to the QR codes?
Yes, it is. Hi.
Okay.
So,
Hi.
I just right for the QR code. You said you can see who. Can you see like specifics? Can you see like the telephone number of the person who scanned it?
No, you will see how many people hit it.
Oh,
You
that.
will not see their specifics. That's why I want to have them land. I want to have them land on my lead magnet, so that they fill in their address they fill in their email information. So a lot of people, they make a mistake. They put their website on their QR code. So people are going to their website and reading and stuff, but they're not doing anything. They're not actually signing up for anything. So that's why when we do QR codes, we want to do something that they're going to do right away, like the call me thing, or landing on the free class, so that they'll fill in their email address to get the free class, and then I can follow up. So that's why it's really important that we're very intentional about what action do we want them to take, and let's get them as close to that action as possible. Right. And so that's what we should be using our QR codes for.
So can I put like an introductory form, like just basic information for the QR code? Can I link it to that? Like just the contact information and.
Well, the thing is, you have to have a reason for them to fill it out, right? Now, if you're at an event and they're like, I need more information about this, it's like, okay, cool. You got to get on our list. Here's the QR code. It goes directly to a form on our list, right? Then and there, they can fill that out. The only issue you're going to have is that when you're like on a flyer or you're on something else, like you just want their information. So you have to give them something that they want, and they're willing to pay the price, which is to give you their email address. The price for that free product is their email address. It has to be their real, in my case, all my stuff, they have to enter their real email address, because it goes right to membership area. So if they give me a fake email address, they aren't getting access. I'm kind of strict that way. I literally have people that make typos in their email address, and they actually go back to the form and refill it out just to get access. And that's how I know things are working.
I want to say you also probably want to get their name as well, at least their name as well as an email address, so that way you can help personalize. Like if you ever want to do an email campaign, you can always have their name embedded in the email that you do. And so I always say to edit the form, get their name as well, and the email address. I also do phone number. That's just me. But but definitely don't just get the email. I would also suggest getting their name.
Yeah.
As well.
And so the thing about marketing and the whole lead magnet thing is, the more information that you ask for, the lower your chances of actually getting that information, because they're going to be, oh, this is too much, right? And they're like, nope, don't want this thing right now. I mean, I would like it, but too much.
Then they're not my people.
Right. And so that's what you have to weigh. You have to weigh that and find the happy medium. There was this one guy that's like, they're doing internet orders, right? He's like, oh yeah, just turn off the phone number. You can turn off the phone number. You don't need their phone number because they're just paying you money. Just take their email address and that's fine. And I'm like, they're paying me money. I should have a way of contacting them if something goes wrong, and having that open line of communication, because sometimes email's not enough. Sometimes their email addresses are not correct. And then I have no way of contacting them. If somebody gives me money, I want their phone number. Like, if you aren't willing to give me your phone number when you pay me money, we got problems. Like, that should be like the bare minimum amount of trust. And that's why my physical phone number on my phone, I give it out I just give it out when I'm buying stuff and whatnot. I don't use it, but I give it out. You know, I'm in a situation though where I don't mind if people call me all day long because this phone ain't gonna bother me about it. But like it all comes down to personal preference and stuff. Like, if you really, really, really want the maximum amount of people, the research says that only collecting email addresses is more effective. It bumps up your opt-in rates. Whether those are quality leads or not, that's another question. So you just have to kind of weigh it.
For me, name and an email would be my minimum, because like I said, I like to be able to personalize if I can. And so that's why. And Laura, your hand's raised. Is it related to this as well?
Yes. More so to what you did before the QR code, when you were saying to get the URL in the media storage for your PDF.
Mm-hmm.
Like Joy's book right now is on her Google Drive, correct?
Correct.
Is that something maybe that we should put in the media?
Well, yeah, you can put that in the media library. Now, the thing is that you control the media library, right? So you control the assets that are in there, and you're not linking to something external. For instance, if for some reason, God forbid, Joy's stuff got messed up, then that link would disappear. Yes.
And that's my problem. I have a lot of freebies that I give out, and right now they're going to my Google Drive. But you're saying it's better to create a PDF in the media storage. So I have to go update that then.
Yeah, it's better because Google Drive actually has artificial restrictions on stuff. And so if you try to send, like in the beginning, we had a lot of people just going to the Google Drive to view videos, and it was blocking people from viewing them. Because it has a certain, like, if it sees too many people going, it assumes that a bot is after that file, and it'll lock it down. So,
and the same way, when you wanted to send your parents something, you can't just send it in the communications in the hub because it's limited storage.
Yeah, well, the best practice for email and text and all that is to not send attachments. Do not send attachments via email. I don't care what email client you're using. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. Why?
So the links would be a better.
Yeah.
So you're saying? Okay.
Links are always better in email, text, any of those text-based communications. Links are way better than attachments. And the reason for that is that because of all the virus stuff and whatnot, all the scanners out there, is they are more likely to mark you as spam, to block your communications, all that junk. And you can remove all of that just by using your media library that already comes with your membership, right? And then you don't have to. The nice thing about that is, I've had people that have messed up their Google Workspace. Can you imagine if your Google Workspace gets canceled and then all your PDFs disappear? Right? Now, that being said, what I do is I always have stuff in my Google Drive as a backup and also stuff in my hub. So I
That
have
was my next question. Should
Yeah.
should I delete it once I load it? I should have it in 2 places.
Yeah, always have your assets in 2 places, because if one goes down for whatever reason, and guys, this is just basic computer 101, you need to have stuff in 2 or 3 locations. Ideally, you would have stuff in Google Drive, your hub account, and an external drive that you keep all your assets backed up to. And if you really want to get paranoid about it, keep it in 2 different physical drives, right? I'm not at that level right now. I'm just like,
So the same thing with my Canva. What I'm doing is I'm creating something in Canva. I'm downloading it onto my computer. I'm usually posting it, and then I'm like, should I delete it from my computer? Will I need it again? I can always go to Canva. Most of it's temporary stuff.
Yeah, and like if it's just like a file for an event or something, then I would say like, whatever, we can remake it, worst case scenario. But guys, when you're making your classes, you're spending a half hour to an hour of your time filming it, and then whatever you're doing to edit it and upload it. And I bought this new $500 camera. Do you know how much time it takes to not just transfer the file to the computer, but to then put it in a usable format that I can upload to YouTube? Hours upon hours upon hours. I only have 3 videos from this camera on YouTube right now. It's not for lack of trying. I have like 17 videos I shot, and only 3 of them are on YouTube right now.
All right.
It's a lot.
So do you have something else you want to show us?
Yes. Yes. So let's talk about contacts. I want to go back to which one? That one, I think. Sorry, I'm like losing track of my windows. Okay. So we are going to go now to contacts. Okay. And I don't know. Let's use, I don't know anything. Okay. So what we have is we have a basic contact. Wait, let's see. Maybe I can let me do one. Here we go. This will work. So what we have is we have our things. So here is our new client portal center. Okay. And this is where we have course offers and community groups. Yeah. Interesting. Users. Okay. Anyways, so we have all these different things where we can do offers. Where it really gets cool is documents. Okay. So we can actually, like, for those of you who have physical forms, you can actually scan them and put them in the contact. Say this contact, which is clearly me, was not me. It was one of my parents. And I have a kiddo that, I want to make sure I always have their stuff on file in case like a fire happens, or, God forbid somebody, throws up on the piece of paper. We work around kids. Strange things happen. So I want to just have all my related physical documents, not only in physical form, but scanned, but I want to be able to find them really quick and easy. What we can do is we can actually just add a document, right? And then it's going to let me, get my files. So I'm just going to, sorry guys, I have to keep remembering to change my date modified. Okay, so this is my my kiddo. His name is Chrome. And this is his files, which should be coming up anytime. It said it was loading. Okay. We're going to refresh. Guys, every time something acts kind of wonky, I just hit refresh because it's just the easiest thing to do. Okay, there's Chrome's information. Yay. Okay, so I have scanned in all of Chrome's information. So I have, his vaccine records and whatever, and I can add all those little files in here. So whenever I go to his parents' contact information, I can just click my documents thing and I'll have all his stuff right here. And then we can hit preview. And it's going to go here. See, look, Chrome did his switch tab vaccine. Awesome. Okay, so, you know, you can do preview, you can download. So it just keeps those files organized, and they are specific to the contact, right? So it's just this other little filing system you have where you can keep stuff that you download and stuff. Now we have this other feature.
Oh, before you move on from that, can a parent also upload from their contact? Do they have do we know?
We have abilities to do certain things, and we are getting more and more towards that. So I'm going to show you that preview. So, and this is where like early adoption kind of comes in. So our client portals, they have this thing right now called, it's definitely not documents. I believe it's contracts. So if we go into payments, see documents and contracts, we can actually go into all documents and contracts. If we click new, we can upload existing PDFs or we can create new. Now, if you're going to create like a registration document, I would do that in templates, right? If you want like a thing where they can actually like fill out stuff, I would definitely do that in templates. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you documents using my trusty. Oh, I'm gonna probably just use his brother Mac as an example. Okay, here, let's use his brother Mac as an example. Okay, so this is Chrome's brother's Macs, files that need to be filled out. So, you know, it's going to process the file. It's going to redirect me to the builder. So, so guys, right now, it appears that it's having trouble with aspect ratios. It looks like everything's an 8.5 by 11. So don't upload files that are like this. Upload them in portrait view. But what we can do is we can actually have elements that we add, right? So this is a nice text field. So what I'm going to say is how do you spell initials? Alexa, spell initials.
Initials is spelled INITIALS.
Initials. Okay, cool. So I'm going to have the parent initial on this switch window thing. Vaccine, make sure you got it. And then when we come down here, I'm going to have the parent sign. So we're going to sign on the select all because, you know, reasons. And I'm going to save this. Okay, so what I can then do is I can actually send it. Oh, it helps if you put the recipient. So go to the thing and select a contact, and we're going to just do Beth. Okay, and so signer. Laura, you want in on this? Okay, Laura needs to accept. Interesting. Okay, cool. So actually, I'm wondering, I can change. Okay, see, so I can change Lori. So this is how you send it one at a time. We'll work on sending in bulk later, but basically I can send via email or I can share via link, right? And so if I hit send, I'll share via link. Generate links. Okay, copy. So you can see that if I put this Oh, I guess I can. There you go, Lori. What we're going to do is go to the document. So as you can see, it has 2 required fields, right? Initials and signature. So then Lori can actually go and fill this out. And send it. So actually, this is basically, we basically have DocuSign, guys. Like anybody who's ever had to do a DocuSign document, this is basically what it is. And so you can actually share it via email or link. What's really cool though is, let me see. Because if Lori goes into her, remember, but we don't know where that is yet. See, this is why demos are so hard for me, because I have like a bunch of stuff I want to show you guys and then I forget.
It says completed. Are you able to click that? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so here's Lori's signature right here. See, it has her name and her signature. And then her initials are right here. And it says that Lori signed it. Initialed it. See, so isn't that great, guys? Like, you can literally send a document. It has like, you know, different fields and stuff and check boxes and things that you can actually remake entire forms with and then send them to parents to fill out, sign, and they send it back to you. Now, if I go to Lori's contact, let me see. So we'll go here. Mac has been completed. All right. And so what we can do is we can view the source and it's going to come back and give us that document. Hopefully. Or actually, it's giving me the doc. Yeah, it's giving me the document again. Let's see. So I think you just have to like download it and that will be the one that you print. So if I do download and then open, yeah. It's one print. Oh, signature certificate. What, signature certificate? You guys can't see that, can you? Hang on, let me show you guys this real quick. This is really cool. Go to entire screen. Share. Hopefully this works. Okay. This is the document that Lori signed. You see that? But then we have the signature certificate that verifies it. Okay. It's using UTC time markers because, you know, and look, it even gives the location. Lori, you're in Stroudsburg?
Close enough. Stroudsburg, yeah.
Yeah, so you're close enough. Like mine, when I sign stuff, I think it shows that I'm either in Aliquippa or somewhere else, but I'm actually in the middle between 2 different towns. I'm in a township. So anyways, yeah, this is pretty cool, right? Like, you know, we have a signature certificate. So when you download that, you get all that information. So, you know, it's really cool, you know, completely. And it has that. And you can have like, you know, it'll show, I think what it's doing. Yeah. So documents and contracts sent. So your documents and contracts, I know it's kind of weird, but it'll be in sent right now instead of received, which is kind of weird, but that's just the way it's showing it. So you can always find them in all and it'll just list it, right? Okay, so that's like super cool stuff. Does anybody have questions about this? Because like this is really, really great. Like all of you guys that need those state forms and stuff, you put those state forms in here and have them filled out digitally and download if your state allows that. And you can print them for having them physically, but you can have the parents do all the work on the computer and send it back. So yeah, it's really, really amazing. I don't think we have much time. I don't think we have any time for anything else, do we?
You're good. If there's anybody that has questions, you're definitely welcome. If not, we'll end it here.
Because I know,
Right.
like, this has been something we've been wanting for a long time, where we can literally just send it to the parent. And by the way, it does show up in their client portal too,
Awesome.
if you have that turned on.
Great. Thank you, Beth, so much. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Beth. That was great information. And obviously, if you guys weren't live, it'll be recorded. So that's awesome. Thanks, Beth.
Yeah, no problem.